EdTech Mondays Kenya is supported by the MasterCard Foundation Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning in partnership with EdTech East Africa.
Hello and welcome to this month's edition of EdTech Mondays Kenya. We are coming to you from Emuhaya in Western Kenya, where the future of education is already being driven by innovation. This month, we explore how artificial intelligence is changing how teachers work and how learners gain knowledge, and why AI has become an essential part of everyday classroom. Hello and karibu to another exciting edition of EdTech Mondays Kenya. My name is Ian Ofula, and today we are spotlighting work being done by Futures Infinite, an EdTech organization based in Western Kenya, building AI literacy for teachers through training and skills development. In Kenya, where the shift to competency-based education is already demanding new approaches to learning, AI offers incredible opportunities. From personalized learning tools to smart assessments. AI is becoming part of the everyday education toolkit. But here's the challenge. Fewer than 1 in 5 public school teachers have received formal digital training. So how do we bridge the gap? We go to the heart of it, teacher training. In this episode, we explore how Futures Infinite is using available tools and curricula to equip teachers with the necessary skills for a digital future. But before we delve into that, let's begin by unpacking a few key terms that will help ground our conversation today. The first term is artificial intelligence, or AI. This is when machines or computers are designed to think or do tasks like humans, such as learning, solving problems, or understanding language. Think of AI as the brain behind smart apps and tools that can help with things like marking papers or giving students personalized learning. Another term to note is AI literacy, which means knowing what AI is, how it works, and how to use it in everyday life. For teachers, it's about understanding AI enough to use it in class, teach students about it, and make sure it's used in a safe and responsible way. We also have Teacher Professional Development, or TPD, which refers to training programs or learning sessions that help teachers grow their skills. In this case, it means helping teachers learn how to use new tools like AI and digital technology in the classroom. And finally, we have 21st century skills. These are the modern skills young people need to succeed in today's world. Things like being creative, solving problems, working well with others, communicating clearly, and using technology with confidence. Well, to bring these key terms to life, let's now speak to Frank Njoro, the co-founder of Futures Infinite, an initiative that is actually embracing AI in Western Kenya. Thank you very much for making time for us. So why AI, first of all?
Because it's where the world is headed. Everywhere you turn, there's artificial intelligence, and it's what is now changing the landscapes, education-wise, economic-wise. So we don't want to be left behind. We must move with the world.
When you say it's changing sort of the way things are done, what do you mean?
How we interact in life generally requires us to understand AI and the tools that are available to us. There are apps that we use to make sure that we are more effective, more productive.
So we're here at Emuhaya Primary School. Tell us what it takes for you to actually work with the teachers here, or rather, why we're here in the first place.
The public schools clearly are limited in many, many ways. So our mission, our goal is to reach those public schools. And Emuhaya was one of the schools that was selected by the county government of Vihiga to be one of the, to be a pilot for the program that we were starting.
Yeah. And part of that program, we're looking at the Junior CodeCraft program, which has already reached hundreds of teachers.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
So we identified about 50 schools in Vihiga County, and we trained 100 teachers. And then we decided to train some more. We began with the ECD at the ECD level, and we trained the teachers to be able to deliver coding in the schools. And these teachers come back to their schools and they start code clubs. And the kids go through coding activities at least once a week, 1 hour once a week.
When you started interacting with the teachers, How new of a concept was artificial intelligence?
Too new,
Yeah.
too new. They were not sure, and especially because it's a very new concept, and even the government has not yet integrated AI into the national curriculum, and the teachers will be very hesitant to use tools that are not yet officially sanctioned, approved, and supported. So they are very, very hesitant. And also you find most of the teachers are not tech-wise. They're not tech-savvy. They will be like, that's for the ICT teacher. I don't want anything to do with that. So they will be, they're careful not to be involved too soon. And then remember also, most of them, they don't have the devices in the schools. The schools are not really connected, and they don't have the computers. So what's the motivation? Why would I want to know much about AI that I can't apply? So there were quite a number of challenges.
So despite these hesitancy, especially with teachers, what else has been a challenge? And maybe we can talk about available infrastructure, for instance.
The limitation is massive. Most of the schools don't have computer labs. And the ones that have labs don't have computers. Like here, we're in an ICT room, there are 5 computers, only 3 are working. So that has always been, in most of the schools that we go to, that is the major challenge. The teachers are willing to transfer this knowledge to the students, to inspire them to be creators, innovators, but they are limited when it comes to the resources.
And so what makes your approach different in terms of making it both accessible and impactful for teachers in underserved areas like where we are at the moment?
Our approach, we use the hub and spoke model, where we identify a leading school, and that school becomes the hub, and the ICT teacher in that school becomes a master trainer to support about 9 schools around the school. And then within the schools themselves, we train the ECD, we train ICT primary, and we train the JSS, because they are in one location. So we develop a peer-to-peer ecosystem. They are never left alone. They support each other, and they have access to online resources. Actually, they have lifetime access to online resources provided by our donor, Raspberry Pi Foundation, and we encourage them through our community of practice. You know, the learning communities on WhatsApp, we encourage them regularly to go there and develop themselves professionally.
And you've talked about your donors. Tell us a bit about how collaboration with them and other partners has actually made this success and pushed it to the next level.
Wow. So Raspberry Pi has the materials, and it's free online. Anyone can go to the Raspberry Pi Foundation website and will have access to the curriculum. They have coding, they have robotics, they have experience AI, they have the computing curriculum, and we entered a partnership with them to deliver these programs in our schools. So they train our master trainers, and then our master trainers go and train the other teachers at sub-county level. And we want to replicate this as much as possible. So once we have this cascading kind of system, that we will reach as many teachers as possible, and also students. Raspberry Pi ensures that this material is updated as early as possible. And we also work with other partners. They're called implementing partners. For example, we have Dala Hub in Siaya, we have Riley Orton Foundation in Kisumu. We also want to work with the US Peace Corps. We will train their volunteers, about 16, sometime in October, and they will go to, they'll become STEM facilitators, and they'll go to the schools they're posted, and they will start code clubs.
Yeah.
They'll also teach experience AI. They will also be able to use the computing curriculum to teach the students.
Can you take us through what a training session for a teacher would look like?
So it's usually a day event, and quite intense. The first 30 minutes, we would start with a welcome and setting it into context. And we will basically introduce the teachers to the goals of our program, the Junior CodeCraft, and we would let them know the role of digital skills in the 21st century, why it's important for us to align ourselves with these skills, especially AI tools. And then we would tie this or connect this to our CBC curriculum, make sure that it's localized, that they understand that this is actually working in Kenya, and we will have success stories, local success stories. There are very many where schools are actually using these skills in their classrooms, and they are helping the teachers and also the kids. And then now we will bring them into the foundational concepts, AI concepts. They will know, the what, the why, and the how of AI. Very, very important. And then we move now to the practical aspect of the training, and they will have to build. They will use the tools to create lesson plans, assessments, so that they're able to know which tools work in the classroom and also in their personal life. After that, we will have a feedback and reflection session where the teachers now will exchange group discussions, exchange feedback. What works? What doesn't work? What challenges are you going to face in class? What challenges have you faced in class? After that session, we would have support. We follow up and support. All these teachers are members of the WhatsApp groups, learning communities. Now, there's a lot of information on those groups. If I was to show you one, you'll be amazed. I even see what teachers post. I'm like, wow, I don't, but this is good. So they learn a lot from each other. And the peer system, the peer-to-peer system works also on those groups. Yeah.
So we've just heard about the power of collaboration from Frank. How about we speak to one of the partners, and that is from Raspberry Pi Foundation, Afandi Ndiasi. Thank you so much for making time for us, Afandi. Why AI and why these collaborations?
AI is the talk of the town at the moment, and it's involved in everything that we're doing at the moment. We're hearing AI in health sector, we're hearing AI in agriculture, AI in the climate. ChatGPT caused quite a big buzz all over the internet. In the education sector, where the Raspberry Pi Foundation have majored in, especially computing education, this is our opportunity for us to shine, especially since we've gotten the collaboration with Google, whereby we are the ones who are supporting Google in creating the computing resources that are being used in Experience AI. And at this point, we believe it's important that AI is also embraced in the education sector. We can't have AI being used in the industry, yet children and teachers in schools are not aware of it.
Yeah.
So that's why we have stepped in and decided, let's create these resources, make them public. Also, our resources are free. They can be used by anyone. And this is the opportunity. No subscription.
Why that
fee.
decision?
Education is important. Basic education is important. Quality education is important. So having education that advances a child's mindset, especially to align them with what's happening with industry, it's important for that to be free. We do not see the need to hoard our resources and make them subscribed or to have a fee for that. So all our resources are actually free.
So how then do you reach to partner with programs or initiatives such as Futures Infinite?
So apart from the use of our online platforms, where you find they share an interest form with us to just tell us what it is they've been doing, why they feel Experience AI is one of the programs they want to be part of, and how can they share the reach, make it wider than what is already existing. We also, since we're in the market in Kenya, we are able to identify them. We can see the buzz all over. We can know what is happening in the different parts, and we approach them and find out. We tell them about our programs, and we hear, are they interested to be part of the collaboration that we are looking at?
And you've talked about your content being free and accessible to all. What's some of the content available there, and how can people make use of it?
I love that question. So as the foundation, we have specialized in creating computing education resources specifically, and we have a variety of content from formal education, non-formal education, and Experience AI knowledge. So in formal education, we have content that is based within the classroom, that is used in a classroom setup, and we have contextualized our computing resources to meet what is being used with the KICD curriculum designs. And currently it's being used in over 15 counties in Kenya, reaching more than 70,000 students in the country at the moment. And they are contextualizing the content we have shared with what is being used with the KICD to just bring more learning outcomes to students.
Yep.
We have non-formal learning, which is one of my favorite products that we have, Code Club. And we give resources actually very free on our website that help even anyone who doesn't have coding knowledge to just have a try, give it a go, for them to learn from beginner all the way to advanced, different resources from Scratch, that is block-based coding, all the way to text-based coding, all the way to Python, all the way to AI as well. And this is non-formal, where any child, any school can just integrate this to something that is out of the school, to just give the students a go at what is happening.
And listening to Frank earlier on, he said that one of the challenges, or rather the barriers that exist, include a bit of hesitancy from teachers and also probably lack of infrastructure in some cases. Is this of concern to you, and how are you guys navigating that?
I think that's a concern, I'd say, to everyone who's bringing technology, even AI, into the system, the different sectors as well, because change is painful, change is scary as well. So educators have not been exposed to technology for quite some time. Then at one moment we are asking them to bring this into the system, and we're making it something like a mandatory thing for educators to know. For us to bring it to educators, we've worked with government to bring this to them, for them to understand that it's something that they cannot escape. But then it's easier for us when we have the government backing us, because since we're the ones who have created the resources, we can break it down, the complex bits, make it easy for them to understand how can they integrate it in the classroom without having the fear of using it.
So for you, Fandi, what does the future of AI in schools look like?
I can say it from my perspective, what I envision when experienced AI is being used. I believe in a world where students are going to be learning by themselves. Blended learning is what is happening in classrooms, where students' needs, specific needs, are being met in the classroom, where students' learning is not necessarily happening at a go, but specific to every learning need that every student has, whereby an educator doesn't have to focus so much on administration tasks, but they can be able to focus on the students' needs and even get some time for themselves to rest, just reducing time for educators as well as watching out for the students' needs. That's what I envision the future of AI in classrooms.
We've seen how trainers are introducing AI to teachers, breaking it down into practical, relatable lessons that can work in any classroom setting. But what does it look like from a teacher's perspective? What challenges do they face? And how does this training actually impact their teaching practice? To find out, let's speak to David Mahonga, one of the teachers who's gone through the program and is now applying AI concepts in real time with her students. Thank you very much for making time for us. Perhaps tell us, introduce yourself. What is it you teach and what you do?
My name is David Mahonga, a teacher at Esigwe Junior School. I handle grade 7 to 9 pre-technical studies and integrated science.
Yeah. So let's talk about your experience with AI. When did you first discover that perhaps artificial intelligence is something that you could incorporate in teaching?
I started experiencing this AI when I was in campus, and I used to use AI to do simple tasks such as research.
So then about 2 years ago, rather when you started teaching, how did you realize that you could actually bring it to class?
Yeah, I started using AI in teaching when I began transcribing the set questions on paper, as well as to generate multiple choice questions. I also began using AI on generating lesson plans, as well as analyzing the results and grades.
So currently you want to even get to know a lot more about how you can incorporate AI. So basically you've signed up yourself for training so that you can expand your skills. Why is this important for you?
It's more important for me because I want to focus on the student, because the world is changing technologically, and I want my students to be well informed in the future about AI.
Yeah. And what does the future of AI look like when it comes to teaching? What kind of possibilities are you seeing? So you've said you kind of used to transcribe. What more do you see beyond that?
There are so many possibilities. One of them being it essence workload, especially for teachers when it comes to marking exams, for multiple choice questions, as well as setting, generating lesson plans, and much more.
Yeah. There are teachers who are actually kind of afraid that because this is some of the work that was being done by teachers back then, and then there's the feeling that AI could actually replace them. Have you come across this kind of idea, and why? Where do you think that comes from?
Yeah, it's there, but for me, I will say that AI is there to be as an assistive tool. It doesn't really replace the teacher, because a teacher can understand the students' emotions, feelings, and do much more as compared to AI.
So for a teacher who's watching this at home, what would you tell them in terms of, especially if they're hesitant, what would you tell them to do, and why would you tell them to enhance their skills?
Yeah, I'll tell them that it's important to include this AI in teaching, because it reduces workload and enables the teacher to focus on pedagogy, apart from dealing with too much workload, marking exams, setting, and so much more.
So in the last couple of years, as you've tried to incorporate AI in your teaching, what kind of challenges have you noticed?
The challenges is the access fee, because for the free version, you can only use it for a number of tasks, but if you want to do more tasks, you have to pay. For the students, it's becoming challenging because of the access to devices, even though it doesn't really require a sophisticated device, but access to devices like tablets, computers, it becomes a challenge, and internet access.
Yeah. What does the future of AI in schools look like for you? Like, what would be an ideal situation for AI use in schools?
I think AI will be used by many in schools if the teachers will be willing and be passionate about AI and incorporating in learning.
Hearing directly from teachers shows just how transformative AI training can be, but it also reminds us that many educators are still hesitant to take the first step. A lot of this hesitation comes from misconceptions about AI. Let's take a moment to debunk some of these myths and set the record straight. The first myth is that AI is too complicated for teachers to understand.
AI literacy doesn't mean becoming a tech expert. Training programs like this focus on helping teachers grasp basic concepts. What AI is, how it works in everyday tools like Google or chatbots, and how to guide students in using it responsibly. It's about awareness, not coding PhDs.
Another myth is that AI will replace teachers.
AI is here to support, not replace teachers. It can help with things like grading, lesson planning, or personalized learning. But it can't build relationships, it can't mentor students, or even manage a classroom. Teachers remain at the center of learning. AI just adds a new tool to their toolkit.
The third one is that only ICT or computer studies teachers need AI training.
AI is increasingly touching every subject, from helping science students run simulations to supporting language learning. All teachers benefit from understanding AI so that they can spot opportunities, keep their content relevant, and prepare students for a tech-driven world.
Another one is that you need expensive devices and fast internet to teach.
While infrastructure helps, many AI activities can be done with low-tech or no-tech methods. Future Infinite, for example, uses printable resources, offline activities, and even paper-based simulations to introduce AI concepts in under-resourced classrooms.
And finally, AI training is a one-time event.
AI is changing fast, and teachers need ongoing support to keep up. That is why it is important to have access to learning materials, a supportive community, and regular updates to keep growing alongside the technology.
Now, throughout the program, we've heard how limited resources and infrastructure is actually affecting the access to artificial intelligence. So if you're a teacher and you're watching this at home, how then do you make use of limited resources? Let's hear back from Frank. For a teacher who's watching this at home and they're wondering how do they make use of AI, first of all, into the curriculum, bring it to class, but they're also working with limited resources. How can they go about it?
That's a challenge. That's a challenge. We have said we have offline resources, but that beats the purpose of getting connected to the rest of the world, because most of these things are online. All the apps that we use are online. You can't download them and necessarily use them, but we are able to Scratch. There's Scratch offline, so you can actually have it's called, when you download Scratch, offline Scratch, you can save it on your computer and you can access it whenever, if there's no Wi-Fi. Yeah, so that is possible. We also have a Code Club on a stick. They can print these materials and use them in class to teach basic or simple coding concepts.
As we've seen, building AI literacy for teachers doesn't just require coding skills or fast internet, but a willingness to learn and grow. From Future's Infinite's inspiring work to the classroom stories that we've shared today, we see that Kenya teachers are actually ready to lead in this digital age. Well, that's it for this edition of EdTech Mondays Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us on this special edition. Remember to follow us on social media using the hashtag EdTech Mondays to share your thoughts, and let's keep the conversation going. Special thanks to our sign language interpreter, Ms. Rose Omolo. My name is Ian Ofula. Until next time, goodbye.
EdTech Mondays Kenya is supported by the MasterCard Foundation Center for Innovative Teaching and Learning in partnership with EdTech East Africa.